at Gold Coast, and I'm also a postpartum doula. Today we are talking to Amber Brandt. She is the Coziness Consultant. Hey, Amber.
Hello.
We've actually gotten some of your advice for our new office space, and I wanted to kind of talk to you about what you do for specifically new moms. We're busy, maybe we're working. Even if you're not working, you have a newborn, maybe you also have a toddler at home. How do you create an environment at home that feels cozy?
So the Coziness Consultant side hustle started as this idea that people need to be comfortable in their own homes, and if we're not happy and cozy and our spaces aren't working for us, then our sanity is in question. And so for me, I just really feel like, for starters, people's homes need to be like a reflection of who they are. Like when you come home, you should be able to sit down and let your hair down, and people who come to visit should feel welcome and know who you are by being in your space. So a couple things that I like really try to focus on when I'm talking with a client or a new mom especially is the idea of capacity, for one, that we can only be and do so much. And if there's this idea that our lives are like a pendulum of work and rest. When we're younger and we're single and we have very few responsibilities, we go to work and then we just rest. Go to happy hour, we hang out, we do our thing. And our pendulum is really wide, that swing. But when we're a mom, especially a new mom, our pendulums are really short. And instead it's like, your work is picking up this toy, and then your rest is a sip of coffee, and then you're right back to work again. And so finding a way to make your spaces work for you in the season of life that you're in, I think is really important. So capacity, like the fact that you can only be and do so much, you need to make your spaces work for you, quirks and all. The other thing that I talk about is intentionality, that looking at a space to determine how does it need to be used. If you have a dining room that also you homeschool in, or you don't have a good play area because your child's bedroom is so small and toys are everywhere, figuring out how to wrangle that and make it work. And then, at the end of the day, how do you want to feel in this space, right? Like if you have these issues that every time you come home and you look at and you're like, oh, well, there's that pile of papers again, or, oh, these toys aren't wrangled, then it's going to affect how you feel about the rest of your life. And so if you can get your home comfortable and cozy and make it intentional and work, then it's going to take a lot of pressure off of those other areas of your life.
Yeah, I feel like I've had to let go of some of that as a mom. I mean, it's funny you talk about that pendulum, because before baby, my husband and I, people would come over and be like, does anyone live here? Like, this place is so neat and orderly. Like, there's nothing even on the counter. And now in my mind, it's like a toy explosion. People still come over and they're like, oh, it looks so great still. And I'm like, oh my God, in my mind, it's a mess, but I'm okay with it.
Right.
But I figured out what works for me, like what messes. There's still a little bit contained. Like I keep the toy mess back in her room, and I just deal with that maybe once a week and have her help me, right? But the rest is a space that I feel comfortable in, like you said, and I'm comfortable with a certain amount of untidiness.
Right. And realizing that it's a season, that, your kids, diapers are for a season, and all the toys that make music and sing and drive you insane are for a season, and so, it's understanding the time of life that you're in, and kind of, that balance of making it work and accepting that this is where I am right now. Like, I have a client who had me come over, and their house is like really mid-century modern inspired, and she had this like long channel kind of in her living room, this narrow space that used to, when the original builders built it, it was planter, like a built-in planter. Yeah. And they had pulled everything out of it, and it was just this kind of hollow, like long rectangular space. And she said, it's so awkward, I don't know what to do with it. She said, but every Tuesday night we have these families that come over for dinner, and the kids always just sit on it, and I was like, well, then make it a bench, right? Like eventually you can you can make it a planter again if you want. You can tear it out if you want. But for now, if that's how it's used, put a cushion on it and make it storage and make it work for this season of your life that you're in. You don't have to keep it that way forever.
Right. So. Yeah, it's good to do things that you're able to change. Nothing's permanent.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think too, like something as simple as, right, the way that you look at throw pillows, like knowing the season of your life you're in, you're like, okay, well, I can buy a lovely cream pillow that's going to get trashed. So you can either like choose a different color, you can buy the cream pillow, but don't spend a lot of money on it and it's disposable, or buy an expensive one that has a zipper and you can wash it. Like find a way that makes sense, if you really are going to toss your throw pillow, when it gets too trashed, that's okay. Like that's the season of life that you're in, and eventually you can invest more in it. But figure out what makes sense for you so that they're less of a headache, so that you're not constantly yelling at kids to get their feet off of them. If it's something that they can live with and you can live with, and it's just the season you're in, then that's what works, and do that thing.
We moved into our house and bought a brand new sofa and had our baby, and I think a week later she spit up all over it, and it was just, I was like, oh no, it's a brand new sofa, and my husband's like, this is probably the first time of many that this is going to happen. You're just going to have to deal with it. And it was. I mean, I think she spit up breast milk on it a couple times. I've like eaten a chocolate chip cookie on it and gotten chocolate. It happens. So you have to just realize that it is what it is. It's kids,
right?
And even me, I'm messy too.
Well, and I mean, you can be mad about it, or you can just like, oh, well, shrug it off, and this is where we are. The same thing happened with us. We bought a brand new mattress for our bed, and we it was the kind that you buy. It comes in a box like a Casper, and it came, and we unrolled it, and it looked so lovely, and we sat down on it, and Winslow, our daughter, who seemed fine 1 second earlier, threw up. Not spit up, just threw up on the new mattress. Like there wasn't even a sheet on it. And we both just looked at each other like, okay, well, this is our life now.
This is life.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just what it is, And we're all doing that thing, right? We all have those stories, and we're all figuring it out. But whatever you can do to stack the deck in your favor, it makes a big difference. Just a couple things that when I was thinking about coming here today, I thought, I want to leave, these women with something really practical. So I actually came up with just a couple of things that I do that someone shared with me years ago that have made a big difference. And one of them is buying all white towels. Super simple thing, but there's like that long period of time with interior decorating where everyone bought everything that was matchy, and how many loads of laundry is that? Right. So I remember someone told me once, buy really expensive, really nice hotel quality towels that are all white, spend some money on it, and then just simplify your life. And I was like, that is such good advice.
Then you can just throw them all into one load.
One load, done. And they're elegant and lovely, and who doesn't like stepping out of a shower and feeling like it's sort of luxurious, right. The other thing is keeping a box in your basement or in a garage space for garage sale items that have actual stickers. Just put the stickers right in there. So anytime you walk out to the garage or you have something you need to get rid of, you go out and put it, if you're into the garage sale thing. If you're into the, donating, by all means, donate it. But if your goal is to sell it eventually, put a sticker on it with a price
and then it's
immediately.
Done. It's ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one that I'm still not great about. And every time I'm like, man, why don't I do this? It's so good. So 2 really practical things to take away from the conversation that are like just about simplifying your life and making your head space clearer.
Thinking ahead is sometimes we just, especially as a new mom, you can't wrap your brain around it. You're living in the moment. How do I get through this hour and this day?
Right.
And not thinking ahead about
what will
save me time.
Yeah. But if you can find things that are tiny, like the actual effort to walk the thing to the garage and put a sticker on it is so much more manageable and bite-sized than thinking about pricing an entire pile of, collecting those things, right? And then pricing them all to get them out.
Right.
So, 2 really helpful things that simplify your life.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So how do our moms find you?
So my website is thecozinessconsultant.com. Same on Facebook / The Coziness Consultant. I'm also on Instagram, same handle, and I share little tips and some like personal insights on Instagram, and that also feeds into my website. So those are the best places to find me.
Well, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll have you on again because you were actually a past client as well.
Yes.
So we'll have you on to talk about some of that another time. But thanks for your advice today.
Thank you.